4 games today. Now I was out. So I'm telling you guys right now, I've watched the highlight reel, and I looked at the scores, and I went, oh, that's a surprise. And really, honestly, going into the round of 16, I think one of the 4 that qualified today feels pretty good about their standing, and that's Uruguay. Uruguay was helped a little bit. An own goal by the Russians went off the defender's leg and then into the net. And then a double yellow card, meaning you're out of the game. So the Russians played a man short in the second half and towards the end of the first half. Uruguay with a 3-0 win, I think they honestly are a contender. And they look pretty good going into the next round. But they have a tough draw. And that's an understatement. It's an understatement. And for the Russians, they have a tough draw as well. And those games are on Saturday. So we're 5 days out from the start of the playoffs, and things really getting interesting here between these 4. And there's another game that'll be on Saturday as well that will be decided tomorrow. So there will be 3 on Sunday, 3 on Saturday. I think there's 3 on Sunday. Anyways, we'll get into the playoff schedule later. Saudi Arabia in a matchup with Egypt that didn't mean anything to anybody but themselves. And when you look at the way these guys play, nobody wants to go home with 3 losses. Egypt scored first, but 2 penalty shots are awarded to the Saudi Arabians. They scored on 1 to make it 1-1 at the half, and then 95 minutes. So 5 minutes of extra time in the second half, and the Saudis score. And that was going to be the tale of the other 3 games. That at the 90-minute mark, don't turn it off, don't look away, because something's going to happen. And it's probably going to be something major. The Saudis winning this game doesn't affect the standings other than one being third, one being fourth, neither of them going on into the round of 16. But you can see the emotion from the Saudis. You can see the disappointment from the Egyptians at losing that one, especially with the beautiful first goal that they scored against the flow of the play. Egypt goes home 0-3, and this is kind of where it's interesting. So you have Saudi Arabia and Egypt, both countries that aren't considered to be powerhouses in the world of soccer. Uruguay, South America, Russia, European or Asian, depending on which part of Russia you're looking at, and they move on to the next round. So, the Uruguay wins the group, and the Russians fall. But I don't think necessarily it matters who you play between Uruguay and Spain, or who you play between Portugal and Spain. Let's get into that. Iran and Portugal. Iran scored in the 90th minute to tie the game. So for Portugal, they've been ahead 1-0. Looks like they're probably gonna win the group, and they lose the lead in the 90th minute. And the biggest thing is this. So in the first half, Ronaldo was denied on a penalty kick. So much like Messi earlier in the round for Argentina, this was Ronaldo's chance to really, put the screws to the Iranians, and he wasn't able to do it. But the bigger news, if you're a fan of Ronaldo in Portugal, he has a yellow card now. So going into the next game, which is going to be against Uruguay, he's got a yellow card. He has to watch himself. And the funny thing was, the announcer says it's been a chippy game. Chippy means it's been dirty. And there's been a lot of things going on during the game that probably shouldn't be. Now, what also happened today is Spain kind of getting lucky against Morocco here. Morocco scored first, and they had a 2-1 lead, which they lost in the 92nd minute to Spain, who got the draw. It was a VAR reversal of what the referee thought, so 2-2. VAR is playing which is instant replay to those of us over here. It is playing a vital role in this World Cup for good or for bad. You guys can decide. Both Spain and Portugal, kind of underwhelming, honestly. Other than the one game that Ronaldo had where he had the hat trick against Spain and it was just awesome. Honestly, it's been kind of a little bit underwhelming for Portugal and for Spain. Iran was really close, really, really close to getting into the next round and putting one of them out, which would have been massive. And so Spain plays Russia, Uruguay plays Portugal. Looking at the way these teams are playing going into the round of 16, if that matters, you guys can decide whether that matters a lot or matters a little. I like Uruguay's chances. I do. I like Uruguay's chances against Portugal right now. Spain against Russia, I think that's more of a toss-up than it should be. I favor Spain based on the way Uruguay took the Russians apart today. However, again, they were man short, and there was the Russian own goal, so it makes the score look worse, or flatters Uruguay maybe more than maybe they might have deserved. But still, a 3-0 win is a 3-0 win. This is going to be really interesting on Saturday, and I don't have a problem making predictions for the round of 16 because, again, the predictions really at the end doesn't really matter. But this is going to be a very interesting set of matchups right here. And again, South America, Europe, Europe, Europe. Once you get into the round of 16, all the good feel-good stories, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Iran, Morocco, there's a pattern to the teams that don't make it into the round of 16. And this is why, and rightfully so, there are fans in Europe. They're like, we should get more European teams and there are more South American teams. And they're probably right. There are probably teams that are not in this, and I'm thinking of Italy and Holland as being the big ones, that if they were here, you might see more upsets. You might see teams failing to make the round of 16 that otherwise are going to be able to make it. So once they expand the tournament in 2026, I would expect there to be a lot more uncertainty going into the third set of games. Now, group of death results are still yet to come, and group of death we'll see somebody going home that probably wouldn't be if they were in a different group. But we'll see what happens. Let me know which of these results surprises you the most, and which one you guys feel is most susceptible to a heartache. For Portuguese fans, it's got to feel kind of a little bit like, oh, not again. And for fans in Spain, there has to be a little bit of nerves there too. You're playing against the host nation. They have not been overwhelmingly great in this tournament, and it'll be really interesting to see what happens in the round of 16. I love the round of 16, and it's kind of too bad that I'm doing a lot of traveling in July, and I'm probably going to miss some games as a result. I'm going to do my best to see them, but I'm probably going to miss a few, and that is a shame, but these are going to be fun. Let me know your thoughts, though. I'd be really interested to know what you guys think. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happen to pop on this video. And I had a fun idea for something to do today. I got word that my Hockey Guy podcast from my other channel, The Hockey Guy, has been listed on Spotify. So I wanted to do something kind of like a celebratory thing on here for that, which I won't be able to monetize because it'll involve a bunch of copyrighted music. So I'm not sure what's going to happen with that. But it won't be monetized. It'll just be for fun. It'll be that kind of a fun thing, and we will get to that later on today. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on these results. Which one surprises you the most? And of these four teams, I think Uruguay is probably the best squad. Not only do they have the best results, and I know Saudi Arabia and Egypt would not have beaten Spain and Portugal either. So I'm not trying to argue that Uruguay's had this incredibly tough group, but with the yellow card on Ronaldo, is that going to change how he plays? And Spain just hasn't wowed me in this whole tournament. The lack of killer instinct being shown by both teams is, well, we'll see what happens, won't we? But let me know your thoughts. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hit like and subscribe, as always, and I'll talk to you again soon.